with this.
Right. Welcome back. We might have beaten me back to the studio actually, because I know it's been open a few days. But I'm so happy to be here. So happy that the roads were clear enough for me to make it here. Because my neighborhood is very icy. Side roads, if I lived on one of the side roads, I wouldn't have made it. But luckily I live on the main road going into the neighborhood and it became cleared Friday. It took that long for it to get cleared. But I don't know about you, but I'm like, give me my schedule back, give me my routine back, give me my people back, give me my freedom back, because being in that isolation last week was so challenging. And I thought it was just me until I realized from Jen's post, she opened up the studio for a couple days and she was sharing the experiences people were having and everybody feeling like it was COVID all over again, you know, and I hadn't thought about that until I read that post. But so when the snow started happening on Sunday night, I was teaching Sunday night, it was snowing, I was driving home in the snow, and I had been to the grocery store already, so I knew we were good, and we didn't have the kids with us because they were with their other parents, and we were just so joyful that we had gotten snowed in and that things were canceling, because sometimes it's nice to get that break. And even as a southerner, you know, in the Nashville area, it's usually ice, right? You don't normally get snow. And so it was lovely, and I'm sure you all thought the same thing until about the third day. Because in the South, unlike Chicago, I don't know how I'm looking at Renee, she's from Chicago, so you know, usually in the South it melts by the third day, it's gone, and you're free again to do whatever. And I don't have a four-wheel drive, so I was stuck. And 2 or 3 nights in a row, I literally sat up and I probably scared Rob to death because I felt like the Exorcist. Like I literally woke up and sat straight up and was bug-eyed and like, can't breathe. Can't breathe. It was like a panic attack. I don't have panic attacks. I don't even experience anxiety. So it was really strange. And I started giving myself Reiki. I went into the other part of the house and was pacing, and the same area that I had been pacing and trapped in for 5 days. And that wasn't helping. And anyway, I managed to go back to sleep. I managed to clear whatever that was. But it was that post Jen made about opening the studio and other people feeling the same thing that made me feel like, okay, I'm not the only one experiencing this. So I appreciate her putting that out there. And then I saw a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, and it was, I don't have it in front of me, but it was basically saying, the practice of mindfulness is to get us in touch with our own Buddha nature. And that was really helpful, because I started thinking to myself, I'm a yogi, I should be able to handle this. And I'm going crazy. But I wasn't getting to do my yoga every day, and I wasn't getting my meditation every day because we lost our heat. Oh. And you know, when you lose your heat, it's frigid in the house, and you're cold, and you got layers on, and it's like, even if I wanted to move, it wouldn't have felt good to move. So anyway, needless to say, here nor there, I found that quote to be very inspiring because it was reminding me, because in my craziness in my head, I was like, I can't get anything done. The house is too cold to get anything done. And I can't leave my house because I'm trapped in my house. And I felt like I was wasting time and wasting time and wasting time and not being productive and not doing anything. And then that quote reminded me, why do I have to feel productive? Why am I getting down on myself for not doing anything? I think what it really was is I was missing people. I was missing socialization. I was feeling very isolated. I never even turned on the TV. I could have at least used that, but I didn't even use that. But I want us to remember our own Buddha nature. Because if you think about the story of the Buddha, he was a prince. He was rich. He had all the wealth around him. He lived in a palace. He had all of his needs taken care of. And then one day he decided to leave the palace. He was walking around the village and he sees people hurting. He sees people sick and dying. He sees people suffering because they're poor and they don't have enough nutrition. And it bothered him to see that stark contrast between the two worlds. And he couldn't even go back to the palace. He didn't want to go back to that lifestyle. He wanted to get an understanding of it and he wanted to gain wisdom. And he was being in the question of why is it this way? And then he went and sat underneath the Bodhi tree. And he sat in the question, in the wonderment, and received the clarity, and received the downloads, and received the wisdom, and received all the things to become this enlightened being. By doing nothing. I mean, he was focusing. And he was staying calm. But that was such a great reminder to me, like, I don't have to do anything. Take the pressure off. So we are going to do something. We are going to move. I do want you to move your body. Luckily, it's nice and warm in here. But I also really want you to intend to tap into your Buddha nature. Because if you were feeling like me last week or still feeling that way right now, we don't have to carry that. We can lay it down. Have a strap in hands. And let's come down to our backs. And when you come down to your back, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to pay attention to what you're feeling, especially in your back. Because when we take this supine position, there may be some days and some moments where it feels perfectly fine to have the legs extended. And there may be other days where we're feeling uncomfortable or feeling discomfort, and we may need to bend the knees and scoop the belly and tuck the tailbone to solidify the low back down to the earth to give ourselves a little relief. If that doesn't feel good to your body, but your legs are sprawled out, you can check the difference between having your legs lined up in parallel side by side versus the legs being more spread apart and the feet flopping open. Each one of those maneuvers is going to be different for each one of us. And since we've had maybe a break from our practice and it's been very frigid temperatures outside, that can change up our experience. That can change up what we are feeling in the body. So you may have to approach some of the poses a little differently today. Now that you've situated yourself, take some deep belly breaths. Breathe openly and freely through the nose if your nasal passages are clear. You feel the belly rising up on the in-breath, falling away on the out. This was the tool that I used in the middle of the night when I woke up feeling panicked. I just had to refer back to my breath and make sure that I was breathing in a diaphragmatic way, because the deep diaphragmatic breaths can create that sense of inner calm. Now let's go ahead and take a hold of the strap And your right knee is gonna draw in towards your upper body. You're gonna wrap that strap around the ball of the right foot and sail it sideways. You're lightly holding the strap, but your shoulder blades are nestled on the floor. And you're finding your edge of flexibility with your hamstrings. You're discovering whether or not the left knee needs to stay bent, or if there's a possibility for you to extend it out and fire it up. So if your left leg is extended, flex the ankle, push down through the left thigh bone. Now I want you to pretend you're accelerating in your car with your right foot. So just think about pushing the ball of the foot into the fabric of the strap and notice how the hamstrings engage more. So this gives you the idea of when somebody may have a strained or torn hamstring, why it's difficult for them to drive. Now you may or may not want that extra engagement. That's a yogi's choice. You can leave it out if that's better today. But we're going to take it from pot A to pot B. So let's take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Hold down your left hip with your left hand. And slowly open the leg to the right side of the room. Keep your left sit bone plugged down into the floor. Your left heel reaching out in front of you. That way you're not tipping or turning from the pelvis. Your navel is still stationed in the same place, facing the ceiling above you, instead of angling off to the right. Now, if you want to accelerate a little bit more here, push through the mound of the big toe side of the foot, and notice how that's going to ignite the inner quads, the adductor muscles. And on your next inhale, sail the leg up and swap hands to hold the strap. Free up your right arm. Roll to your left hip as you send that leg across. And let the foot hover. Now, you can maintain this position, or if you want to accelerate more here, you're going to press into the pinky toe side of the foot. We call that the knife edge side of the foot. And notice how that changes up the effect of the IT band. Try not to take the sensation to the degree where you're holding your breath. And then inhale, lift the leg back up overhead. Good, as you exhale, bend the knee, remove the strap, set it to your left side, and slide your left knee towards you, cross the right ankle over your left knee, pick up your left foot, place your hands behind your left thigh. So it's like you're pulling into a half pigeon, or eye of the needle pose. Now, please know you can stay exactly here as you are, but if you want to amp it up and do something a little bit more advanced, you can peel your head off the floor. You can take your arms around the knee and the foot, or hand hold the right knee and foot, and you can send the left leg forward and out, hovering the foot above the ground. So it brings in a little abdominal work. At the same time, it's similar to a supine version of pigeon pose. On your next out breath, let go. And come back down into a supine position. Draw your left knee towards you. We'll do that sequence to the other side. Hook the strap around the ball of the left foot and sail it up. Lightly holding the strap, finding the edge of flexibility here, and discovering what is better alignment for the right leg. If you do have the right leg extended, flex the ankle, push down so it's nice and grounded. Pedal the left foot forward if you want to ignite the muscles more. Breathing with depth and control. I've said this in the past, but the Faith Hill song that was a hit years ago called Just Breathe, one of the co-writers was actually a Kundalini yoga teacher. Or even yoga influence, one of those big hits. Let's take the ends of the strap into the left hand. Let your right hand hold down your right hip. Lower the leg off to the left side. Let the foot hover. Push the mound of the big toe side of the foot into the fabric of the strap. Feel the difference. Feel what effect it has in your body. And then inhale, bring it back overhead, swap hand hold, sail it across. Take the spinal twist. Try to keep your left shoulder grounded, even if it means lifting the left foot higher. And then if you want to activate that IT band more, push it to the pinky toe side of the foot. Stay connected to your breath. Keep practicing mindfulness as a way to connect to your own inner Buddha nature. Inhale, lift that leg back up overhead. Exhale, bend the knee, remove the strap, slide your right foot closer. Stack your left ankle on top of the right knee. Pick up the right foot. Place your hands behind. If you haven't moved a lot this week, it's interesting moving the body to see what needs to be thawed out, what's really been, contracted and constricted, and not getting a lot of circulation because we've been more sedentary. So if you want to go a little deeper here, feel free to pick up the back side of your head, pierce that navel in towards the spine. You can cradle hold that left leg, or you can hand hold the foot and knee, but sail the right leg out. And then if you want to be more passive in the supine pigeon, you can always drop your right foot, lower the head, and we're all going to release out anyway. And then once you release out, bend both knees. Keep the feet flat to the floor at first. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, lift the left knee back up. Exhale, roll to the outer edge of the right foot. So we've got half butterfly. Continue that. Inhale, right knee lifts. Exhale, roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, lift it back up, and exhale, roll to the outer edge of the right foot. Do that one more time to each side, but try not to be as mechanical. Try to coordinate it with your breath, purposely slowing the breath down so the movement is slow as well. The next time you lift that right knee up, hug the knees in towards your belly and chest. Coming into Apanasana, the wind release pose. And gently roll over to the right side of your body. Come up to take a seat, but we're actually going to come all the way to the stand. We'll use that strap a little bit later, but for now, we're going to come stand at the top of the mat. And spread your toes and kind of rock back and forth from your heels to the front sides of the feet. All right, once you condition them down, stand at the front side of your mat. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. And if you know that you enjoy blocks, you may want them at the front side of your mat in case you need them. But we'll inhale, circle the arms up overhead. And when your arms reach up, have your palms face each other and really plug the feet down into the floor. Because sometimes as soon as we lift our arms, we forget about what we're utilizing the legs for. And we're trying to root the feet down as the fingertips lift. Good, exhale, fold as you hinge from the hip crease. Folding your body in half, whether it feels that way or not. Notice your hamstrings, tip your weight forward towards your toes, and then inhale, slide or prop your hands on your shin bones. Straighten your arms, lengthen out through the vertebrae, look out with your eyes. Exhale, let's slowly hinge back over and down. On your next in-breath, you're gonna step the feet back to plank. You're gonna hold your plank a minute, spreading out the fingers. Stacking shoulders, elbows, wrists. Now, are your quads soft? They should be defined. So if they're soft, pluck your thighs up. Yes, now rock forward, lower down, down, all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes, lengthen each leg individually. Let your shoulders roll back. Push into your palms, but let your shoulders drop away from your ears at the same time. Cobra. Good, hold it one last breath. Exhale, roll down to the brow. Inhale, push up through table. And this means you'll have to walk your hands back so that your hips are stacking over your knees. Good. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat, onto the wood floor. Your hands are angled, kind of like towards the corner of the room. You got it. Keep your right hand as is. Elongate your left arm. Dip halfway towards the floor and really stretch out through the underside of that left arm into the pit of the arm. Swap your hands. There you go. Yeah. Slow, deep breaths. Good, inhale, lift the head up. Slide your left hand over. Walk across your sticky mat to the left side. You're kind of catty cornered, hand shoulder distance. And then extend your right arm out. Lower at least halfway down. Continue to breathe. Inhale, slide your right hand back, walk it over to the sticky mat, curl the toes this time, launch into downward facing dog. And from Adho Mukha Svanasana, press a little stronger through your hands, shine up through your seat, let your head hang between the arms. Inverting yourself here and bringing in the affirmation, calmness radiates throughout every fiber of my being. Trying to tap into that inner state of calm and peace, that Buddha nature within. On your next inhale, lift up through your toes and exhale, come back down to your knees. When you land to your knees, open up your heart into cow. And then exhale, reverse it into cat. And continue. Inhale, roll open to cow. And then exhale to your cat stretch. Now inhale, coming back to cow. Stretching long through your neck, opening up your throat wide. Exhale, round it out. And create that chin tuck at your chest. Good, inhale, drop the chest, lift the breastbone, that's it. Good, exhale, round it out and really arc high through your shoulder blades. Good, inhale, sink the belly, concave the low back. Good, exhale, drop that tailbone, scoop in through the belly. Good, inhale, neutral back. Exhale, curl your toes, lift the knees, down dog. Meditating on the flow of your breath. And affirming calmness is radiating through every fiber of my being. On your next inhale, let's slowly travel the feet forward and up. Baby stepping along the way, lifting the hands whenever you need to, until your hands can stack on straight legs at the top of your mat and you're lengthening through the spine, looking out with your eyes, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, let it all go. Inhale, root those feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And then again, notice, are you feeling everything from the waist up? Can you lock in your legs and ground your feet? And then exhale, bring your hands to that salutation seal. Good. You're going to flow again. Inhale, let your arms circle wide enough. Plug the feet firmly into the floor and exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, hands slide up. Back lengthens. Exhale, drape. Inhale, let's take plank again. Shoulders, elbows, wrist aligning. Engage your quads, engage your core. Rock forward and lower down, down, down. All right, so I loved looking out earlier and seeing some of you taking Sphinx pose. If that's what you need, obviously do that instead. Otherwise, lift and lengthen each leg in particular and kind of glue the tops of the feet to the floor, squeeze through the buttocks, press through your palms, roll it up, Bhujangasana. You can be low, medium or high. You can be in Sphinx. It's a great alternative for holding more than just an inhale. Still breathing. Good, exhale. Now lower. Inhale, push up and back through tabletop. Good, line up your hands underneath your shoulders again. Excuse me, once you do this, press through your palms and shins and arc through the shoulder blades into your cat stretch. Inhale, coming back to cow. And then exhale, find the neutral back. You're not doing either one of those. Good. Exhale, take your toes, curl them under. Launch up and back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Slow, deep breaths, affirming calmness radiates throughout every fiber of my being. On your next inhale, the tie to the toes. Exhale, sink down to your knees. Untuck the feet. Now bring the arms in front of you. And you're going to sink down, down, down. Collapsing into your belly, chest, down towards your chin or brow. And if you need puppy pose instead of melting heart, you can do that as an alternative. So if you can't sink into the shoulder joints, then plug the belly in, draw the ribs in, lift through the armpits. And so you're at the angle like down dog, but more active in puppy. Otherwise, just sink, surrender, relax into it. Good. Inhale, lift the head up. Slide your hands closer. pull up through your heart. So it's not really a cat stretch, but you're engaging your shoulders. Curl the toes to launch into downward facing dog with the shoulders fully engaged. So hold yourself up to invert this way, gazing back at that space between your feet. Now meditationally walk the feet forward like we did earlier. Lifting the hands along the way, propping them onto your shins so that you can lengthen out through the spine, and then exhale, drop back down and in. Inhale, root the feet to rise all the way up. And then exhale, bring hands to curve position at the heart. All right, now we're going to switch things up. As you inhale, your arms circle up again. As you exhale, swan dive forward and down. And this is where you may or may not want blocks, okay? But we're going to step the left foot way back and lunge the right knee. So if you can do that with your fingertips, great. If you feel like that's a struggle, the blocks will absolutely help. Okay, the right foot is flat, the knee aligns over the ankle, the back leg stretching back behind like you're about to sprint forward. Except what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop the back foot slightly forward and down, eventually picking up the hands, keeping the front knee lunging, building the arms up overhead. Good, so roll open through the front thigh, roll forward with your back thigh. You got it. Spiral the pinkies in. Feel that nice openness between your shoulder blades. Bring the hands together overhead, lean your head back. That may mess with your balance, so if it does, leave it out. If this is too much for your neck or shoulders, be mindful of that and leave it out. Good, now exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. All right, we're gonna go into warrior two, but warrior two requires a completely different action in the back leg. So from here, just feel the difference when you start to separate your arms and don't adjust the back leg. Feel how weird it feels? Now heel toe the left foot, a baby step or two back. Have the back foot more parallel to the short edge side of your mat and feel how concrete, more confident it feels. Feel how you can spread and fan open through your hips and thighs. Now glance back at your back arm, make sure it's just as high as the front arm. Now gaze at your right upper arm bone. Turn your hands open. And when you turned your hands open and you saw all of that roll, maintain that openness and only spin your wrist down. So I'll give you a visual up here. So if my arm is out, or if my hand is down, look where the arm bones are. Look where the inner crease of the elbow is. When I roll it open, all that opens. I want to keep that and just turn the wrist down. Completely different. It gives you a little bit of work for your biceps, nothing too intense. But if you're wanting to tone your upper arms more, that's just one little key component, that can help. All right, inhale, draw up through your pelvic floor, up and through the navel, and slightly in with your chin. Those are bandhas that I don't mention a whole lot, but there's a workshop going to be happening here with Bharati, who's a yoga teacher / physical therapist, and you'll learn a lot from her instructional bandhas. Exhale, bring the hands down, spin off your back heel. All right, give a little bounce in that back leg because you're going to spring that foot forward. And then let your head and heart go. Uttanasana. All right, here we go. Inhale, step the right foot back. And then again, if this is a struggle with your hands, use the block. That's why they're here. Lunge that front knee, push back through your back calf and heel. Get that nice runner's stance first. And then hop the back foot forward, solidify it down to the floor. Float your hands up, depend on your foundation to bring you up to stand. Try to square your hips. Lift your arms up. Roll the pinkies in. And even here, you can practice those bandhas, that little lift through the pelvic floor, the lift through the navel. 2 of those bandhas actually work in tandem together. And then the chin tuck is not chin tuck, like you're trying to create a double chin. It's more of a neck slide. I like to call it a slide versus a tuck. And what that does, it just helps to open up the channel of energy to move it up to the brain. All right, here we go. See if you can lean your head back, maybe place the palms together. Again, leave it out if it messes with your balance or if it's not good for your neck or shoulders. And then bring the hands down to the heart and separate the arms like you're coming into warrior 2. But notice it's awkward in that back leg because it's not in the right position. So heel toe the right foot back. Notice how it drops you into that left thigh more. It gives you more of a hip opener. And then look down at your left upper arm as you spin your palms open. Maintain that openness and just turn and flip your wrists down. So instead of this and this, it's this, this. Very different. A little bit more mindfulness. Good, exhale, helicopter the hands down, spin off the back heel. You're in that runner's lunge again. Give a little buoyancy to the back leg because we're gonna spring it forward and then drop back in, Uttanasana. Slow deep breaths, allowing calmness to truly radiate within and without. Inhale, root your feet, circle the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring hands back home to the heart. All right, we're gonna step off to the side. You guys are gonna face the middle of the room. So you guys face this way, you guys face this way. Your legs are sprawled to about 3 rulers distance apart or 3 feet apart. Your hands are gonna come to your hips. Your shoulders are gonna roll back, and then you're gonna give a little chest bump up. When you give that little chest bump, the shoulders crank back more, and that's what we wanna maintain. So if you start to lose this action of the shoulders in the forward fold, just stay here, because this is the emphasis right now. But if you wanna try folding forward and incorporate the legs too, hinge halfway down. And notice when you hinge halfway down, you have to become a little bit more dependent on the strength of your feet and your legs. You have to become a little bit dependent upon the strength of your core. All right, inhale it, slowly come up. This time we're actually gonna fold more, but we're gonna take a different hand position. So take your peace mudras out to the side. And as we hinge down, we're gonna loop the first 2 fingers around each big toe. At the same time, we're gonna fly the elbows forward and away from the knees and let the head bow. So ideally, we're trying to allow the crown of the head to face the floor, but we may have situations that are blocking us from doing that. And as I say that, I'm laughing because Donna used to host cabbie parties, and I'm hearing the person that used to bring the clothes talking about our situations. Remember she used to say that? Think about your situations. She was talking about kind of where you were more insecure in your body, and then she'd help you kind of cover those areas up. But I'm talking about real situations in your body, like elements that you should consider. For instance, we shouldn't invert this way, right after Botox, right after dental surgery, right after eye exams and surgeries, heart conditions. And there could be many other reasons. All right, take one last deep breath. From Prasarita Padottanasana, release the mudra, walk your hands out in front of you, lift your head up, even out that blood flow. Because that was really collecting at the crown. This will even it out first, so we're not lightheaded or dizzy when we come up. That's another thing, vertigo. Bouts of vertigo, you shouldn't fold any deeper than this either. All right, pressurize the feet, bring your hands to your waist, slowly come to stand. All right, turn one foot open, lunge that knee, and then bounce that foot over to the other. Doesn't matter if you're going left or right, okay? Now I'm gonna challenge you today. You're gonna face each other to balance instead of facing the front wall. So it's kind of like you're looking in a mirror, but you're not looking in a mirror, right? We're seeing someone else. Makes it challenging. All right, we're gonna bend the knees and we're gonna sit back with the hips. Okay, hands are gonna come to prayer position at the heart. All right, remember that little maneuver we were doing on the back earlier, like this? We're gonna be doing something similar standing. The hands are gonna stay as is, but we're gonna lift the left ankle, cross it over the right knee. I would suggest gazing at one spot, preferably not the person in front of you. Good, inhale, come up, step that foot down. You guys were rocking it, and I failed to mention this is gentle. So if you're near a wall, you can always use a wall or furniture to help, you know, if you're really unsturdy. So just know that. Bend the knees again, sit back with your thighs. Hands to prayer. Let's see, we looked at the left foot earlier, so now think you right. Cross that right ankle. Sit a little deeper if possible. Set that drishti. Most importantly, breathe. Good, set that foot down. Awesome. All right, stack and down your right leg, right hand to the hip. Pick up your left foot, hold that knee, and now I want you to look straight forward. I know. Push your right thigh bone back. Release the foot. Did you find you were holding your breath more? Yeah, so be more conscious of your breath this time. Okay, land, stack and stand on your left leg. Pick up your right. I started looking down, did you? Look straight out if you can. Good, and release. Good, now turn back and face me. I'll give you more ease of this. We're gonna do my job. So we're gonna stand on the strap with the left foot. And what we're gonna do is this. I'll just demo really quick. We're gonna start lifting the leg, walking the hands down the strap, but soften the shoulders. I don't want you to be like this. I don't want you to be tucking the tailbone. So try to keep your right leg straight, your tailbone neutral, and your shoulders more relaxed. Padangusthasana A. Right, it's very similar to what we did on our backs. And if you start to get a cramp in your quad, bend the knee. That just happened to me. That can happen with cold weather. You see that on the football field. Why they've been playing in Buffalo, I have no idea. So even though it's warm in here, it's been really cold all week. All right, let go of the strap, loosen it up, lay it down. So far with the right. Bring the leg width. Relax the shoulders. Gaze at one spot. A lack of magnesium and potassium can also create cramps. Exhale, release. Also, since I mentioned magnesium, magnesium is something that's really good for a salt bath. And so now that we've had such a long break from our practice, coming back into the practice, if you're sore with your muscles, take an Epsom salt bath. You'll absorb the magnesium that will help with cramps, because I'm a little crampy today from not practicing. All right, we're gonna bring it back to the floor. We're gonna separate the feet. We're gonna bend the knees. So another thing that's cropped up for me. A couple years ago, after I moved across town, I decided to go to a yoga class at 6 a.m., which is not my norm. That's too early. Come on down slowly. But I went to this class and it was so fast paced. And it was too early in the morning for me to really be more conscious with my movements. And I was just trying to keep up. And I torqued my knee. Wasn't injured. But it took me 6 months to a year to finally get it back to normal. And after not practicing this week, guess what came back? The little injury I've got. So that's another thing. That's why I want you to be really careful coming back. You never know what's going to be showing up. All right, we're going to take the left leg straight, bend the right knee, and turn open from the hip, and try to sit on the top of the sits bones. Let's go ahead and use this today since we've got it. Wrap it around the foot. Lift your chest. Exhale, fold. Bring the ends of the strap together. Walk it out. Hold it down. And you're kind of looking out beyond the toes, unless that's not good for the neck. And if that's the case, you can look down towards your knee. I know it's warmer in here than usual, but kind of digging it. Kind of digging it today. Yeah. Thank you for not complaining today, because I think we all need a little warmth after this week. All right, inhale, let's come up. Lift the right knee. Circle that left arm around. And then, actually turn back and look at me a minute, because I do this on occasion, but I want you to really see it. If I just grab the leg and start to go into the twist, look how slouchy I am. You see it? So even as you hug the knee, we tend to do this. So really lift, 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 lift. Then send that hand behind you. So you're sitting nice and tall as you maneuver into the twist. So twists are out entirely, forevermore, or just in the healing stages. A year. Okay, let's just kind of, and no one. No what? Launch. No back bending. For a year. Wow. Yeah. Exhale and line. Right leg out. Left knee bends. Turn it open. Wrap around the foot. So when we go into that next twist, you can have both legs straight and fold forward if you want. Lift up energetically through the top of your head. Exhale, hinge and fold with a straight back. Then walk your hands towards the foot. Inhale, let's slowly come up. Remove that strap. Lift that left knee. Circle that arm, and then again, notice if you're slouching. So really elongate. Then stack that left hand behind your back. Rotate around. Hold and breathe. Good, exhale, unwind from the twist. Have a bolster or a block. And we're gonna land in a restorative bridge pose. And if you do a really low one, it's not that good. I don't know if you did. I can do this, once I keep my back straight. Okay, perfect, yeah, because the two-legged table, your back is straight. Yeah. And so we're just getting the benefits of being in this position where the energy currents are starting to naturally flow with the circulation towards gravity, meaning it's coming towards the lake of the heart and mind. The breath has gotten quieter, and that's okay because we're slowing everything down. We're purposely cooling down. Staying on this mindfulness track so that we can potentially tap into that same Buddha nature within. Maybe not as enlightened, but at least calmer, more peaceful. Count 8 more breaths. At the end of your 8, you can tuck a lift away from the prop, slide it out from below so that you're rolling down to the sacrum. Got a hold of your knees. Now I want you to roll away to one side of your body. I want you to come out of your feet. I want you to consider what you need for Shavasana, because sometimes it's perfectly fine and acceptable and lovely just to be flat on the back, no props. Just you and your mat. And there's other days where we want something different, and I feel like today's definitely one of those days since most of us has had a break from practice. So if you're the type of person that is on your back and you're, needing to bend the knees, I would take the Stonehenge. We're gonna put it down. You want to put it in? So that's what I'm doing. If you have felt very isolated and alone or lonely and a little socially deprived, right? I would suggest a back bend. So use the bolster to open the chest. And then if you're like, well, I've been around people, I'm good with that. I'm not feeling isolated and my back is good. That either. Maybe you want something to open the hips since you've been more sedentary, and that may mean the butterfly pose. And you're welcome to use props or not for that. Sometimes it's nice to hang out in the joints and to work with gravity. Other days and times it's better to be supported. So I love that you listened and you took that advice and you catered to yourself. I love that it's quiet and that you're not breathing heavily, because at this point in the practice, the lungs should rest, the brain should rest, body takes rest. If you need something to focus on or to recite mentally, maybe something simple like, I am calm. I am peace. Om. 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 Let's begin to move in the flow of our breath. Begin to awaken some gentle movement in the body. Feel free to make a more dynamic stretch or to gently pull the knees in before stationing yourself in a comfortable seat. Also putting up instead, close the eyes with your palms down turned. Just notice how much easier it is to sit, be still, quiet, and be perfectly satisfied doing nothing at all after physical practice. So that's why the physical practice came about. Because the yogis knew, the mystics knew, the sages knew, just sitting quietly can be challenging. But I hope today we have tapped into a little bit of that inner Buddha nature. Let's draw the hands together to prayer. That Buddha nature within me acknowledges the Buddha nature within each of you. Namaste. Showing up today. I'm going to show you this. Y'all remember these pattern key cards for old classes? Linda found this cleaning out, I guess, a drawer of things, and he brought it to me. He goes, "Do you have any?" I was like, "Actually, I don't. So I'm going to take it as a token." In yoga years.